Today on an all-new Dr. Phil, he says he's in love with Miranda Lambert.
I guess you could say I was kind of dating her.
He also knows he's being scammed.
I gave out over $16,000.
I've told him, how can you be so dumb? What would Miranda Lambert want with a guy like you?
But the big question...
The message is from Miranda to you. Maybe send me $200 so I can release my next record. Miranda Lambert is a pretty successful artist. Why would she need $200 from you?
I ask myself the same thing.
Now,
In all of my years, I've never seen a guest demonstrate what you're about to see. This is disturbing. Today's going to be a changing day in your life. You've never had anybody working harder to bring you to the threshold of change than right now. Okay, now I want you to imagine that you're online scrolling through social media. All of a sudden, a major celebrity starts a conversation with you. My guest Dean claims that's exactly what happened to him when country singer Miranda Lambert allegedly reached out to him. He was so flattered by the attention that he began to send money. Well, it turns out, you guessed it, Dean was being scammed. So he ditched the account, but then, lo and behold, another Miranda message popped up again. Dean has now communicated with not one, not two, but 6 different Miranda Lamberts. Now, he says even though he realizes he was being scammed by a few fake Mirandas, he says he's still in love with the real country star. Take a look.
I was scammed by several imposters that were posing as Miranda Lambert. I was online. I had a message come up thinking it was the real one. It kind of went from there. The first message that I got said, thanks for being a fan, hope you enjoy my music. I was excited. I really enjoyed getting it. I miss how we used to talk every minute of every day. Just know I will always love you. I didn't ever realize that I would fall in love with Miranda Lambert. Then it became more of, hey, babe, can you help me out? She wanted help with getting a briefcase out of some storage place, and the company was closing up. She wanted $2,000 from me. I couldn't come up with $2,000. The most I could get was $1,500, and I sent it to her in gift cards. These here are the cards that these imposters were asking for. There's Steam cards, there's Google Play cards, there's Apple iTunes cards, there's Amazon cards. In total, the money that I gave out is probably over $16,000. Miranda was gonna pay me back in checks. I tried cashing them, and that's how I found out they were fraudulent. I started figuring out that they were scams. Even though I spent the money, I still can't get Miranda Lambert out of my head. I have tried to contact the real Miranda Lambert several times. Miranda Lambert, what a smile. I guess you could say I was kind of dating her, yeah. Looks good. I am head over heels in love with Miranda Lambert, even now. She's beautiful, even though I'm married. I had to come clean with Shirley about everything, and she was angry. Before my wife gets home, I have to take my pictures off of the computer. But I can't focus on my marriage yet until I can get the thoughts of Miranda Lambert out of my head. I think about Miranda all the time.
Well, Dean's wife, Shirley, is the one who wrote the show, Desperate for My Help. It wasn't Dean. It was his wife, Shirley. She says she feels like Dean is cheating on her with Miranda Lambert and says there is no room for the country singer in their marriage.
My husband's in love with Miranda Lambert, the country singer. I've told him, how can you be so dumb? What would Miranda Lambert want with a guy like you? The marriage right now, there isn't a marriage. We live in separate bedrooms.
This is my room. I sleep in this bed, which is the air mattresses.
As long as I don't bring up Miranda's name, we get along great. There is no physical contact. He tells me he loves me, but he's not in love with me because he was in love with Miranda Lambert. No matter what I say, it doesn't get through to Dean. I believe my health issues has pushed him away. He said, I'm tired of being a caretaker. And I said, I'm your wife. I'm not some random woman that you gotta take care of. I know he has spent over $16,000. It makes me angry. I went 2 years without a vehicle. He quit paying bills. We're behind on everything. I am so mad at the people that scammed him. I wish they could hunt them down and put them in jail and get my money back. When he finds that he's got a Miranda Lambert scammer, he'll stop talking to that person, delete their account, but then another one will pop up. He thinks, yes, I got scammed, but this one is the real one. I said, you're on number what, 5? I think he's crazy. Recently, Dean has told me he wants to be a music producer.
These are my wall of guitars that I've bought.
This is the first time I've ever heard of that.
Over here, I used to DJ.
He believes being a music producer will get him closer to Miranda Lambert. Dean knows he's being scammed by these people, and he keeps doing it. He thinks just maybe he'll find the right Miranda Lambert. It scares the hell out of me.
Okay. Now, thank you for writing in. And you did it because you want what to happen?
I want my husband to get the help that he needs, whether we make it or not. He doesn't realize that no way is Miranda Lambert going to want him. He needs to stop.
Uh-huh.
Not trying to be mean about it, it's just facts.
You've never met Miranda Lambert, right?
No.
I saw Miranda Lambert at the Mutt Nation March, but never talked to her.
Well, there's a difference between seeing somebody and meeting them.
Right.
You've never met her, introduced yourself, sat down, chatted with her?
No.
You get messages that you think are so convincing that you convince yourself it could be the real Miranda Lambert.
Yeah.
And you thought this was real for sure because this is Miranda holding a sign that says,
I'm for real,
I'm
Dean.
for real, Dean.
Yes.
He showed me that.
Yeah.
I did show Shirley
Photoshop.
that. And looking at it, you know, like I said, it is a picture of her, so it got kind of convincing at that time, I guess. The same person that sent me this also sent me 2 dozen roses with a card that said, I love you, I want to be with you.
If you're in love with one another, if she has even a casual interest in being a good friend of yours, how do you explain the fact that y'all have never met in person?
Well,
for lunch, coffee, at the mall, food court, anywhere.
Some of the message I was getting was, I'll meet you at a hotel and, you know, we can talk and that. And I waited at one hotel, and I know I told Shirley about it, that I waited there for 2 hours. And then I got a text saying, well, my husband showed up and I can't make it.
You've gotten messages from Miranda.
Yes.
Miranda. The messages from Miranda to you, if you truly love me, do what I ask you to do right now. I don't need your money, I need your love. Baby, can't you just get $200 cards? I need $200 card before June 6th, and I only rely on you. Baby, I need a card to release the update of my song before tour. $300 is enough for me to upgrade my music iPad, baby. Just know I truly love you. Miranda Lambert is a pretty successful artist, would you agree?
Yes.
They estimate her net worth to be about $45 million.
Yes, that's what I understand.
Baby, send me $200 so I can release my next record.
And a lot of my messages back would be, I don't have $200 to send you.
Why do you tell yourself she would need $200 from you?
I don't know. That's why I'm here. I can't answer that question. I don't know why my brain tells me to send it.
Well, but you know why you can't answer that question is because you can't make sense out of nonsense.
Right.
And that's nonsense. She asked for $2,000 to buy a briefcase?
Right.
Did you send it to her?
I sent her $1,500
To get a briefcase?
to get a briefcase.
Just one old boy to another here. I mean, across 2 years, don't you think that y'all would have found a way to get in the same room?
Well, that was part of the conversations.
Well, I'm just asking you. Come on.
Yeah, no, I understand what you're saying.
I know you understand it. What I'm asking you is to respond to it.
I would think I'd be able to.
Then one of you either isn't real or doesn't want to meet.
Right.
And it is not you.
Right.
Coming up, Dean says when Miranda Lambert got married, he was heartbroken. So what did he do? Well, he created a shocking video in a desperate plea for her attention. You can find out what he did next.
I made a suicide video to show Miranda Lambert how much it hurt. I brought in a cap gun. This is my .38, and this does shoot bullets. I put it underneath my chin, and
Tomorrow, parents gone wild.
She's 16! You sick!
You had a guy in your closet at 2:30 in the morning.
And viral.
You're never gonna be able to work in elementary ever again when I'm done with you. Those are my children!
What got you so upset that you started live streaming?
I was really mad.
The school, when they saw this, went on lockdown.
Oh.
And guess what?
It gets worse.
That's tomorrow. Then on Friday, a Brittany love triangle that's tearing the family apart.
He has nicknamed both Britneys in his life B1 and B2. You can't make this up.
New Dr. Phil. That's Friday.
I kind of feel like maybe I'm stalking Miranda Lambert, but not so much to tell her that I love her. I just want her to tell her what's been going on. So I go to bed at night and I think about her. I wake up, sometimes I think about her. Well, what would it be like to be with her? I can't get her out of my head. Like, you know, what is she doing today? Or is she singing tonight or anything like that? I don't know what happened to me. I fell in love with Miranda Lambert.
Well, Dean is kind of a walking contradiction here because he says he was scammed by a fake Miranda Lambert, but he says he's in love with the real Miranda Lambert. He hasn't met her, but he says he's really taken with her. Now, when he found out Miranda Lambert recently got married, he took some drastic measures. Now, in all of my years, and we're in season 18, I've never seen a guest demonstrate what you're about to see. This is disturbing.
When I learned that Miranda Lambert got married, I got crushed. I made a suicide video to show how much it hurt. This is the way I set it up, my suicide video. I'm in my garage, and I had set up a stool because I didn't want to make a mess in the house. I brought in a cap gun, which is empty. This is my .38, which is also empty, and this does shoot bullets. I sat on my stool, and I had one bullet in the chamber and took the rest out. And then I rotated the barrel on the gun so that the bullet wasn't actually going to fire. In the video, I basically said, sorry for the mess that I made, that I love my kids, and Miranda, I'm sorry, but you really hurt me, and I have to do this. I cocked the hammer back, like so, and I held that one down by my side, and that was the one that made the noise. I took this one and put it underneath my chin, and I fired this one, which made the noise to make it look like I was blowing my head off. And then I fell to the floor, and then I shut my phone off. You know, I wanted to get her attention to show that, you know, there's people out there that may be doing this type of thing because they fall in love with a celebrity and they can't be with them.
Were you aware?
No, I've never seen that.
What do you think about it?
I think it's crazy.
Your daughter Joy is joining us on Polycom. This is news to you?
Yeah, it is.
What's your thought?
I don't know why he would ever do that. You know, you're my dad and I need you.
What do you say to your daughter?
Sorry I did that. I just got too involved with it, and like I said, I don't know what happened to me to feel that way, to even feel the way I did about her. I mean, you know, I'm married to Shirley, and we had a great relationship, and I just don't know what came over me to do this.
You said that you explained in the video, this is because you hurt me.
I said that because of, again, when I was talking to one of the imposters online, thinking it was her, and they came back after I did all this because I got in trouble with her security guy. Not only was there a video, but there was a suicide note sent to her email address, which is also monitored by her brother. And I sent a note to Miranda Lambert herself, and I put it in her mailbox, which is also a federal offense, which I didn't really know about. And her security guy had called me up and told me that I can't be doing that. Those are federal offenses, and I could have spent 6 years in jail.
You see that this creates pain in your wife. You see that it creates pain in your daughter.
Right.
Does that have any impact on you?
It has an impact on me, and that's why Shirley wrote into your show, because I don't know what to do.
Well, coming up, Dean says he knows that he was scammed by 6 Miranda Lamberts, but he's still texting with one right now. Is he still sending money? We'll talk about that when we come back.
He was inviting her over for dinner. It's like, to our house? I'm your wife.
You feel like you're being betrayed?
Yeah. Dean believed Miranda Lambert was coming to our home for dinner.
I had told Shirley that I was going to have a guest at the house, that it possibly could be Miranda Lambert coming to eat over. She goes, well, I'll leave it when I see it. I made dinner for Miranda Lambert and for my wife.
He cleaned the house, he took a shower, put on his best clothes.
And it's blue jeans, a nice shirt, and my cowboy boots.
I knew she wasn't coming. I just had him help me clean house because it was fun.
Miranda Lambert never showed up.
You feel like you're being betrayed?
Yeah. Yes, I do. He was inviting her over for dinner. It's like, to our house? I'm your wife. Am I supposed to sit back and watch you have dinner? But it's not going to happen because she's not real. So I wasn't really worried about it. But I did get my house cleaned because he did clean it.
So what was your thinking? That she was going to come over for dinner? Was you going to have Shirley cook for the two of you?
No, I was doing the cooking. And
what was she going to do while you two sat down and had dinner?
I don't know. She said she was going to go in the other room and watch TV, but I kind of knew that it wasn't going to happen anyway, too.
What % sure are you that you're being scammed?
Pretty 100% that I was getting scammed by that one.
I mean, now, today, that you've never been asked for money by the real Miranda Lambert.
I have been asked for bank accounts. By this one, I have marked real Miranda Lambert, yes.
So you think you're really in contact with the real Miranda Lambert?
I know I'm not in contact with her.
Well, then don't talk in circles. As you sit here right now in the objective light of day, do you believe that you have been having an online emotional affair with the real Miranda Lambert?
Yes.
You believe you have?
Yes.
Why would she have been talking to you? Why you?
I don't know. I don't know the answer for that because there's so many other people out there. I'm sure they're scamming.
Well, you can't say it both ways. You can't say, yes, I've been in contact with her, but no, I'm sure I'm not because they're scamming.
Right.
Come on, you may get away with that with yourself driving down the street. You may get away with that with her, but you're going to talk sense to me because you're not confused about this. That's you know what you're doing. You know whether you're talking to the real Miranda Lambert or not.
I believe that I'm talking to her because of the way she talks to me. And like I said, I mean, there's some things that she says that makes me tend not to believe sometimes that I'm not talking to her.
You either believe it or not.
Okay. Yeah, I believe I'm talking to her.
Do you have any empathy for Miranda Lambert?
As far as...
Do you care what the impact is on her?
Yes.
Do you think it bothers her to have somebody sending them a suicide video?
I think it probably does, yeah.
That's stalking.
Right.
That's stalking behavior. And I'll tell you, I live with that, so I know what it's like. My wife lives with that. We know what it's like. We've had people standing outside our gates for 2.5 years. What effect does that have on you?
Oh, it's so scary. You know, public life is one thing, but once we go home, that's our private life. That's where we are supposed to feel safe. I've been at home and they're ringing the gate, threatening me, threatening to break in. I've had them sit outside, like Philip just said, for days, putting up posters, putting up signs, telling me what they're going to do to me once they get over that gate. I've walked out on my patio and had a drone come up within a foot of my face. I'm scared to death in a place where I should feel safe.
And you know better.
I do know better, and that was never my intention to do it.
But you did.
I did.
Well, we're going to take a look at exactly how he thinks this would unfold when we come back. I called on my good friend and world-renowned life coach, Mike Baer. He's the author of the New York Times bestseller, Best Self, Be You, Only Better. And Coach Mike and Dean met up yesterday. That's what people do that really know each other. They meet up to talk about Dean's online obsession. Now, right before Dean met Coach Mike, Dean was asking producers, is the real Miranda Lambert behind that door? Yeah, no. Take a look.
I am here with the one and only Miranda Lambert, but it's a cutout image of Miranda Lambert. We've created a shrine of Miranda's favorite items, and we're going to have a conversation with Dean. We're going to figure out how we can create some reality to the situation. So follow me. All right. Over here, I have cut out an image of you.
Oh, boy.
So here's Dean. You're going to start off as yourself.
Okay.
I've walked you into the room. Miranda is here. What do you have to say to her?
Hi, my name's Dean. You probably don't know me, but I have followed you for a little while now.
Mike, you're setting up here what you refer to as a psychodrama, correct?
That's correct.
And in that, you have people play different roles and assume different positions for the purpose of having them see things through somebody else's eyes.
Dean really struggled, even initially, with getting fully honest with how he thinks and feels.
Okay, so the first thing you said was, hi, I'm Dean, you probably don't know me. Okay, so were you lying then or lying now?
The first time that I got involved with this, I went into the bedroom and I told Shirley, I said, look, I just got contacted by Miranda Lambert. Didn't know anything about the blue check mark at the time, so I didn't know. It wasn't shortly after,
What you're talking about is a verified account.
to verify their account, until actually a friend of ours had went through the same scam.
So have you been getting messages from the blue check mark, Miranda?
No.
I kept telling him, if it doesn't have a blue check mark, it's not her.
I guess I just kept thinking, well, maybe it'll be her, maybe it'll be her, maybe it'll, that's why I ended up with so many different accounts.
Yeah, well, maybe you and I'll grow a head of hair, too. But the chances are pretty slim, don't you think?
Right.
You know, unless we're going to be chia pets by morning, that ain't happening. Okay, let's continue through here. So you just said you probably aren't going to know me, so now you're Miranda. Let's continue on.
I am a fan. I'm not a huge fan.
So you would say to her, I'm not a huge fan?
I'm not.
I am a fan. I'm not a huge fan. Did I hear that right?
Yeah.
I was equally confused.
Huge fan to me is like somebody that goes to all the concerts and you know, is just somebody there that...
Well, let's listen to something else you said in another tape piece.
I am head over heels in love with Miranda Lambert, even now. She's beautiful, even though I'm married.
Sound like a huge fan to me. I'm head over heels in love with her.
Yeah, again, it started off with that first message that
No. You're not going to deflect my question.
I'm not deflecting your question.
I know you're not. You're just trying.
You're not. If you let me speak, I'll tell you.
No, I won't. I want you to answer the question. Reconcile those differences. You're saying, I'm not a huge fan, and in the next breath, I'm head over heels in love with you.
I'm not a huge fan as far as I don't go to any of her concerts. I don't really listen to a lot of her music. I do have her CDs. I you know, when they come out, I listen to it. But I also have other country artists.
How many of them have you sent $16,000 to?
None.
Okay. One.
Just one, yeah.
Okay, but you're not a huge fan. Okay, let's go ahead.
I'm not really a huge fan because I love all country music.
I'm gonna add something behind you. It's called a double. So I'm gonna put my hands on your shoulders. I'm kind of scared of your security.
I'm kind of scared of your security guy. He has told me to stay away. I sent a suicide video to your mailbox because of the love that I had for you. Sorry that you felt that way.
I'm gonna add one more role of this, all right? You're gonna play the role of her security. I'm gonna give you my jacket.
Okay.
All right, and you're just gonna drape this over your shoulders. What do you have to say, security?
I had warned him about the suicide note, told him that he really needs to stop associating himself with Miranda.
I'm a little scared of you, Dean.
I'm a little scared of you, Dean. I am not anybody that would hurt you or harm you in any way. I don't have any intention of doing that. I just wanted to get my story told to you so you realized what was going on. And I didn't realize that I was going to fall in love with you.
What story is it you want told?
About all the scams and the money that I've lost.
Oh, so you're going to stalk her to tell her about the danger of scams and stalkers?
Well, and again, I didn't even realize I was even considered stalking her or obsessed with her.
All right, let's finish this.
We're gonna get rid of the fantasy. And I have another photo of Miranda. You're gonna play the role of Miranda as her being scared of you. How do you want to start?
I don't know you, and I'm scared of you.
Dean, I'm married.
Dean, I'm married. And in the scammers that were contacting me, basically saying that you wanted to get a divorce and you wanted to marry me. That's why all this started and started getting into my head.
Why on earth would you pretend a suicide?
Why on earth are you pretending suicide to get my attention? Well, after I found out that you had gotten married and thinking that you were actually talking to me, it crushed me and hurt me, and I couldn't think, and I ended up doing that. That's about all I have.
Okay, we're going to take a break, and when we come back, I'm going to ask Coach Mike to tell us what he took away from observing this psychodrama. We'll be right back.
I I've been scammed in the past. I'm a fan of a lot of country singers because I'm a fan of country music. Miranda Lambert's scam is pretty much the one that really started asking for a lot of money. I gave Kelsey Ballerini $500 in cards, and that was supposed to be for a meet and greet, and that I was supposed to get $10,000 back from her, which I never did. Shania Twain asked me for like $200, and I found out what her net worth was, and I told her no way. Even though I'm being scammed, in my brain, I just can't stop.
Well, Dean says he's afraid he'll never be able to stop chatting with Miranda Lambert. Now, my good friend Coach Mike is here to help us get to the bottom of what Dean's obsession really is about and what was revealed in this psychodrama. We've looked at it together. You were there. You felt the vibe in the room. What do you think's driving this? Why is he doing what he's doing?
I think you're doing this to avoid life, avoid reality. I think you're having a hard time having compassion and empathy for others and living in their shoes. I think you have a hard time living in Shirley's life. There's a lot of woe is me, I've been scammed, instead of I'm Dean, here's my power, I need to be a dad, I need to be a husband. You're hiding behind a fantasy, hoping that this fantasy can come to life. And so your emotions, your happiness, your attachment is all related to the fantasy because you don't want to live your life.
See, I think he's exactly right. And I saw that in watching this, because I don't think you really believe you're talking to Miranda Lambert, because you're a logical guy. First off, I think you're a nice guy. I mean, I don't think you're an evil guy. I don't think you're somebody that's going to be climbing over the fence and trying to get in your bedroom window. But I do think you are in love with the idea of being in love with somebody glamorous. And it keeps you from having to deal with what you consider to be the mundaneness of your own life. And it's an indulgence. And every minute you're spending there, you're not spending with your daughter, you're not spending with your grandkids, you're not spending with your wife, you're not spending doing the things you need to be doing.
Growing up in my family, I don't feel that I was as loved. So I don't know if this plays a part of that.
We're products of our learning history. There's no question about that. And so if you feel like you've been cheated in some ways, then you can fill that up on the other side. But I'm going to tell you how to fill it up for real when we come back. Well, I'm back with Shirley and Dean. Also, Coach Mike Baer is here. He's the author of the New York Times bestseller, Best Self, Be You Only Better. And Mike, you talk in Best Self about being your best self, not being your anti-self, but you also talk about 7 spheres of functioning that we go through in our life. And this covers every aspect of life, whether it's social, personal, health, education, relationship, employment, and spiritual. And when we look here at what Dean was just talking about, if you look at the spheres here, if you look at social, personal, and relationship, these are all areas that are really out of balance for Dean. Would you agree?
His tank is running pretty empty in those departments.
And when that happens, we try to fill the void. Scammers find victims they can prey upon. You know, you see some of these scammers that will be writing romantic letters, and you'll look at their grammar, because English is a second language for it, and it will say things like, I love you, heart best, honey. And you go, what? And we've actually talked to some of these scammers, and we say, why do you not fix that? You've got a computer with spell and grammar check on it. Just go up under Tools, click, hit spell and grammar check. It'll fix that for you. You know what they say? They say, we don't fix it on purpose, because if we find somebody that will overlook that, we know we've got a live one. If you start calling them out from day one, minute one, they just move on. You've been hit 6 times. You should ask yourself, really, if I've been victimized 6 times here, what is it about me that makes me vulnerable to that, and how can I feel that in a healthy way? And I'm going to tell you, Robin really taught me about this early in our marriage. If you have an emptiness in your life, be it spiritual or relationship or love, she said the best way to fill that up is to give away what you need the most. To give away what you need the most. And giving it away fills you up the fastest. True?
So true. If you give what you need, you get that feeling. You really are not thinking about what you're lacking. You're actually celebrating what you're giving. You're giving it to others who are needing it, and you have that same feeling.
And do you need some help here? Yes, you do. Yes, you do. You need some help to, number one, hold you accountable from day to day so you don't continue to fall in this. And will you do the things, if I suggest a plan for you, will you do them?
I will do the best I can with it.
You need to agree to unplug for 30 days. This isn't like an addiction. You need your next fix. You need to do this. You need to unplug for 30 days. And during that time, I'm going to get you some help. Doctor on Demand is a company that actually my son Jay and I started, and it's a company where you can download an app called Doctor on Demand, and you can be in front of a board-certified and licensed physician in a matter of like 90 seconds to 2 minutes if you need to see a doctor. And you can also schedule appointments with therapists, doctoral level, licensed therapist, where you don't even have to leave your home. And I want you to download this on your computer, not his, because I want him to unplug, and I want you, we're going to set you up with Doctor on Demand so you can select a therapist, and he can sit there and deal with this person, and you can be involved every step of the way. And I think you're going to find that there's nothing wrong with having the need. What you need to do is find a healthier way to fill it. And once you have a healthier way to fill it, you're not going to be vulnerable to this. So we're going to set this up. I'd like you to have your first meeting tomorrow. Can we get on this right away?
Sure.
Fair enough?
Sure.
Okay. All right. I'll do a shameless plug. If you at home want to have your own Doctor on Demand, you can go to Google Play Store or the iTunes App Store, and you can download the Doctor on Demand app. And then you can have exactly the same things that I'm talking about here. I want to thank all of my guests today, and a special thank you to Coach Mike Baer. You can pick up your own copy of Mike's book, Best Self, Be You Only Better, at Walmart or anywhere books are sold. For more information about today's show, log on to drphil.com. You can find me anywhere, not you, everybody else. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. There is a blue check mark beside my name. You can subscribe to my podcast, Fill in the Blanks, and my true crime podcast, Mystery and Murder Analysis by Dr. Phil. Remember, blue check mark. We'll see you next time.